Baseball. I'm Don Sutton along with Joe Simpson, and we're set to bring you the first of three from noisy Shea Stadium. Well, Joe, a lot of changes are being made here. The Mets off to a 25 start after most people thought they'd be much higher. First change, Dallas Green is the new manager. Jeff Torborg is gone. Is that going to take care of the woes for the Mets?
I don't know, Don. A lot of times you run into a ball club who at times when they make a managerial change will get on a hot streak. The Mets could certainly use that. Braves hope it doesn't occur until they get out of town. Last year, the Braves 7-5 against the Mets and won 5 out of 6 here. But this Mets club this year really struggling, not only offensively, they're last in the league in hitting, but their pitching has been terrible. Only 3 saves on this ball club. On the other side for the Braves, they were 7-2 on their last road trip. They hope to continue playing good road baseball here.
Dallas Green also brought Darryl Johnson along. He'll be his coach. Also, another note on Dallas Green, maybe you'll remember if you followed the Braves for a while, when he replaced Danny Ozark as the manager of the Phillies, came down out of the front office, it was against these very same Atlanta Braves. When we come back, we will introduce the starting lineup to you. It's a left-hander, Eric Hillman, for the Mets. Greg Maddux is on the mound for the Braves, and we will rejoin you at Shea right after this timeout.
Very warm reception when he came out to exchange the lineup cards for the first time as the manager of the New York Mets. And we'll see how his ball club fares tonight in the first of 3 between the Braves and the New York Mets. And here's Bobby Cox's lineup against Dallas Green's team tonight. It's the Turtle Wax Formula 2001 lineup. Otis Nixon in center field. Jeff Blauser at short. Terry Pendleton third base. Ron Gant will bat cleanup against the left-hander. Dave Justice fifth. Brian Hunter makes his first start since coming off the disabled list at first base. Damon Berryhill behind the plate. Mark Lemke at second base, and on the mound batting ninth will be Greg Maddux. The New York Mets are taking the field, and we'll set them for you defensively. In the outfield, Vince Coleman, Joe Orsulak, and Bobby Bonilla from left to right. Howard Johnson, Tony Fernandez, Jeff Kent, and Eddie Murray on the infield. Todd Hundley is behind the plate, and one of the tallest men ever to don a big league uniform, Eric Hillman, takes the mound along with Randy Johnson. They are the tallest pitchers ever to play in the big leagues, tallest player ever to play in the big leagues. Both of them 6'10". Hillman weighs 225 pounds, 27 years old, makes his home in Citrus Heights, California. He was called up a couple of weeks ago to replace Sid Fernandez, who had to go on the disabled list. Hillman started the season at AAA Tidewater. He was 3-2, had a 2.52 ERA at Tidewater, 0-1 as you saw, 4.5 ERA for the Mets. He made an appearance last year, made a start against Atlanta right here, a game that went 14 innings. He got no decision, worked 7 innings, gave up 12 hits and 6 runs. He is a guy that doesn't walk too many people, but at the same time, he doesn't strike out a lot either. You'd think a guy with his size would be very overpowering, and that's really not the case. He just throws strikes, makes the guys put the ball in play, and for the Mets, hopefully that will help them defensively.
Unlike Randy Johnson that you mentioned over in Seattle, he is definitely an overpowering pitcher. But this guy, a sinker baller, wants to get the ground ball outs, throws a lot of strikes, doesn't walk many people. Calling the balls and strikes tonight, the umpiring crew will line up like this. It's Paul Runge behind the plate. Charlie Relaford down at first. Mark Barron, who I'm sure will have a big following down in the Atlanta area since Mark lives at Lilburn and is out of East Point, Georgia. He'll be down at second base. And over at third, it's Jerry Lane.
You ever seen this field in better shape?
Never have. And yes, Deion Sanders' hiatus is over. He is back with the Braves. The only thing that scares me a little about that, Joe, I hope it doesn't set a precedent where if Ron Gant, Otis Nixon, Jeff Blauser, David Justice are unhappy with their playing time, or Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, John Smoltz unhappy with being taken out in relief, they can say, I think I'll take a 3-week vacation and see if I get a lot of money to come back.
Well, it worked for Deion. I agree with you. I hope that's not something that causes teammates to think that that's what they need to do to get back in the lineup, too.
Obviously a very talented man. I think everybody here hopes he's ready to commit himself to being a part of a very good ball club and taking them to the World Series and being a part of that. Nixon set to lead it off. Otis at 245 for the year. No homers, a dozen RBIs. He swiped 18 bases. As you always see when he comes up there, they move all over the infield. And there's strike one, and we're underway.
This field in great shape for the start of tonight's ball game. Groundskeeper Pete Flynn doing an outstanding job with a field that traditionally, and you know more than I, Don, is sometimes a bit of a swamp, especially in the outfield, but it looks great.
Base hit to center field. Good start for the Braves. And right where that base hit landed, to continue your thought, Joe, you used to be able to come in here, and there would be a mud hole and a quagmire out there where Orsulak is playing, and then you get dust in your contacts at the plate. So yes, they have done an excellent job.
And remember last year too, our first trip in here, they had just had a concert that really wore out the outfield grass, so it's in much better shape than at this same time a year ago.
So Nixon gets it started with a single, and here's Blauser, still at 354, 3 homers, 19 RBI. Ball one is high. Joe mentioned the start that Hillman made last year. Blauser is one guy in the lineup who fared well against him. As a matter of fact, Blauser, Pendleton, and Gant all wore him out. Jeff was 2 out of 4. He had a homer in that game. Down low, and it's 2-0.
The Mets ball club mentioned that they're last in the league in hitting. They're average at 239 as a team. Their ERA is only 8th best in the National League, just a shade under 4, and only 3 saves. That's incredible when you got a guy like John Franco down in their bullpen.
Nixon will draw the throw. I got to ask you, that you said ball club is hitting 239. If a ball club is hitting 239, a manager can only make that better if the potential is there for it to get better. Does this Met club have a club that can get better?
No question about it, they do.
3-0 count to Blauser.
The talent is certainly there. It's a matter of figuring out a way to get it all to mesh together. You know, where they brought in so many new faces last year, added Tony Fernandez to that mix this year, and it's up to Dallas Green now to see that they're all hitting on the same cylinder.
There's a strike to Blauser, and it's 3-1.
Let's face it, they've got some stars on this team, some bona fide major league stars. Bobby Bonilla, Eddie Murray, the first 2 that come to mind for me, but Howard Johnson also at third base. And the nucleus is there for an outstanding team.
But do you have stars playing their own separate game, or do you have stars meshing together?
Not yet. They're not meshing together.
Another throw, Nixon back safely. 3 balls, 1 strike. We're just underway from Shea Stadium. Nixon led it off with a single. And by the way, a note on Jeff Blauser, he is the only Brave to be in every ball game this year. Ball 4, good start for the Braves. Blauser at first, Nixon at second, and that'll bring up Terry Pendleton.
The reputation that Dallas Green has always had is that of being a guy that lets you know right away that he's the boss, that he's in complete charge of what's going on. And the stories around New York today, and even cartoons about how this guy's going to come in and really make heads roll if they don't start cutting down on some of their middle mistakes and playing better as a unit.
Well, that was the reputation he brought down to the field in Philadelphia. A lot of guys didn't like him until after they looked back on what they had done with him there. First pitch to Pendleton is ball 1 inside, and Hillman having trouble finding the strike zone. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good crowd. Not what we're used to seeing here at Shea Stadium, but where it is, it's better than what they're used to having here. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Talking about Dallas Green, word is when he held his meeting with the Philadelphia Phillies after replacing Danny Ozark, he called a clubhouse meeting with the players. Could be 2. Johnson, third to first, double play.
Easy double play here for Johnson. All he had to do was make sure the ball didn't get by him. And got Pendleton by quite a bit there, beat him by 4 steps.
Threw off the wrong foot, but made a very accurate. Now there are 2 outs, and the Braves are going to have to do any damage. Gant will have to deliver. Ron 3 out of 4 against Hillman. He also had a home run in that ball game. His average continues to creep on up. He's pushing 250, right about 243 now.
What was it Dallas Green told his club?
He called them together and he said, I brought Danny Ozark into this organization. I like Danny Ozark. You guys got him fired. I didn't. Now you're going to have to work for me. And it worked.
I'm sure that opened some eyes.
Yeah, I think he said, I didn't fire Danny Ozark. You got him fired. Well, I'll tell you, I was reading some things about him today, and I have played against him, and he's one of those guys that you can dislike from across the field, but respect if you get to know him. Down low, good stop by Hundley.
Well, don't you think that's
1-1?
That's kind of the case with this ball club. They don't have to necessarily like each other as teammates. They don't have to go out to dinner with each other after every ball game. But once they put on the uniform and take the field, then they have to figure out a way to play together and get along.
Show me any business, successful or unsuccessful, but especially successful, where everybody is everybody's best friend. But when you punch the time clock, you're all supposed to be headed in the same direction. And I think that's what Dallas Green will do. He will see that they're all headed in the same direction. That's high, and it's 2-1. Either they will be headed in that direction of their own accord, or the cattle prod will be right behind.
Or they're going to be going in a completely different direction down the highway.
Good luck with whatever you take up next. Well, one of the most, I think, one of the best endorsements he could have gotten was some quotes from Bob Boone that I read in a paper today. Bob Boone, one of the most honest players I ever knew, certainly wouldn't say it if it weren't true. There's a strike again, and it's 2-2.
Pretty good curveball here from Hillman. Ron gave up on it because it looked like it was going to stay outside, but it seemed to bite on the corner, and Paul Runge gave him the strike.
Well, we've given you everything on Dallas Green except his dental record, so we'll see how it turns out here in Shea Stadium and get on with the game. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gant. Blauser, the runner, at second. Full count.
Talked about their offense and their pitching. Their defense is 10th in the league. They have given up 27 unearned runs, and that's why that play by Howard Johnson may be a good start for the Mets under Dallas Green, turning the double play.
A 3-2 pitch about to be made to Ron Gant. To left field. Back goes Coleman. He'll have room. Gant just got under it. Well, the Braves waste a good start here in the first inning. They get the first 2 on, but they come away empty. Mets coming up bottom of the first. No score from Shea.
We go to the Mets half of the first to check out their lineup. Leading it off will be Vince Coleman in left field, Joe Orsulak in center field, Eddie Murray batting third, Bobby Bonilla the cleanup hitter, Hojo at third base, Tony Fernandez at short, Jeff Kent bats 7th, Todd Hundley 8th, and Eric Hillman the pitcher bats 9th. The defense for the Braves has Gant, Nixon, and Justice in the outfield, Pendleton, Blauser, and Lemke on the infield, along with Brian Hunter tonight. Damon Berryhill behind the plate, and Greg Maddux makes his 10th start of the year. You see his numbers. He's a lifetime 13-9 against New York, but only 6-6 here in this ballpark.
It's been about 25, 26 days since Greg Maddux has given up more than 3 runs in a ballgame. Won his last outing when 8 innings, gave up 3, walked 5, but he struck out 8. A 5-3 win over the Phillies. And the first one is outside 1-0. These two are familiar with each other. They have gone head-to-head 57 times. Coleman hitting just a shade under 300. He's 18 out of 57. He's running well, too. He's stolen 17 bases already for the Mets. Good fastball. It's 1-1.
The amazing thing about this ball club to me offensively is that they have on their roster 9 switch hitters, and they have 6 of them in the lineup tonight.
Kind of hard to stack your bullpen against that, isn't it? Or your starters. Tough play. Blauser will have to hurry. I think he can stick it in his pocket. It's an infield single.
Like Jeff got a little bit of a late start on this one too. Jammed him, but it hit the plate. If that hits the dirt, it's an easy out, easy comebacker for Greg. But on the late start by Blauser and the quick feet of Vince Coleman, a base hit.
Maddux has allowed 7 stolen bases when he's been on the mound. They've had 7 attempts. He's allowed 5. And Coleman definitely a threat to run. Coleman, if you watch him, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Joe. He's one of those guys that likes to edge off and get a walking lead, isn't he? Nixon sometimes goes off big lead and gets set.
Vince, one of those guys that, one of those few that have stolen as many as 100 stolen bases in a year.
Braves expecting something on the first pitch. Pitch out, and it's 1-0.
Do you have 118 while he was with the Cardinals?
Orsulak at 264. 2 homers, a half a dozen RBIs. This is the first time he and Maddux have gone up against each other. Good bluff by Coleman. Had Berryhill coming out in a hurry, and the count's 2-0. Orsulak, a part of a tandem that they platoon in center field here. He shares time with Dave Gallagher. A couple guys you really like, both of them.
Both of them, both offensively and defensively. Orsulak is a pretty good 2-hole hitter for Dallas Green, willing to give himself up.
Too much time, and Paul Runge gives the time out to Joe Orsulak.
Vince Coleman stole 110 one year with the Cardinals, not 118. But Orsulak can go get the ball, so can Dave Gallagher. They're hitting well as that platoon in center field that started on April 30th, hitting over 300 combined.
There goes Coleman. What a jump. Stole it easily. He's at second. That's 18 on the year for him. And the Mets come out running.
Among most stolen base guys, Vince Coleman may be the most like a track man. The way he starts out with his crossover step and explodes from down low into a long stride, and not even close down at second. And Damon's been throwing the ball very well when he's been in there.
Well, Coleman is at second base. Let's see if Dallas Green has him playing ABC baseball, and if Orsulak tries to get him to third. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Pickoff attempt, close.
Greg put this one right on the bag. They didn't even have to put the tag on him. He was already there.
Base hit to left field for Orsulak, and that'll put him at the corners. Well, he certainly didn't try to pull it to the right side. He just kind of top spin lobbed it in the left.
And as a result, Vince Coleman had to wait to make sure this line drive goes through. Watch Coleman come back to make sure this ball gets by Jeff Blauser before he advanced to third.
So the Mets are at the corners, and here's Eddie Murray. Murray, another good year. He is such an amazing athlete. He's hitting .321. He has 5 homers. He has 23 RBIs. Only Bonilla with more RBIs in the lineup. Maybe you got a chance to kind of lip read what he said there. If you listen to games from Shea before, if you've been here, you know it's right under the takeoff and landing pattern. So Eddie said, let's go plane, get this one out of the way. Feel like you're in the middle of a strafing run here. Coleman at third, Orsulak at first. Didn't mean to. Pendleton, 1 play. He'll throw out Murray, but the Mets are on the board.
Even an excuse me swing turns into an RBI for Eddie Murray. He has more RBIs in the last 10 years than any other player. This ball rides up and in on him a little bit, but he picks up his 24th RBI. That gives him 1,586 RBIs, and he is 22nd on the all-time list.
Credit Coleman with some good base running, too. As soon as he saw that ball go down on the ground, he didn't hesitate. He was off and running. It would have forced Pendleton to make a perfect throw. Orsulak is at second. 1 gone, and here's Bonilla. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Bonilla, the batting average down. It's at .238. The home runs and the RBIs up. He has 9 homers and 26 RBIs. A tough year at Shea for Bobby Bonilla last year. Another strike, and it's 0-2. Somewhat of a personality change for him. When he played at Pittsburgh, always very happy, jovial. A lot of people who are here say that he has changed a lot since coming in here. A little bit more to himself, a little bit more introverted. Strike three. 3 pitches, 3 perfect spots, and he's gone.
And you can hear the crowd response. Take another look at the pitch. Berryhill wants it on the inside corner. Maddux starts it inside, slides it back over the plate, and Paul Runge rings him up. His first strikeout of the night. Maddux 54 Ks on the year, and he leads the league in that category. But the crowd still upset with Mr. Bonilla.
Greg Maddux trying to do a little damage control here. Orsulak is still at second. 2 gone, and he'll try to get out Howard Johnson. Johnson at 252, 4 homers, 17 RBIs. But he's one guy that has had some good times at bat against Greg Maddux. 20 out of 66, 5 of them homers. Ball 1 misses outside.
28 team homers, 18 of them have been hit by Murray, Bonilla, and Johnson.
So if you don't get it out of the heart, they haven't gotten it.
Not too many other guys have been going out of the yard.
One ball, no strikes.
And I wonder what position they'll have Howard Johnson playing next year.
Boy, isn't it amazing? What has he been? Shortstop, center field, third base, shortstop, center field, third base. I think they even stuck him out and left a couple of times.
Every spring it seems like he's going to be the new something.
You should see his locker. It looks like a sporting goods store with all the different gloves he has in there. A ball and a strike to Johnson. Orsulak still at second. Down low, and it's 2-1. Howard Johnson, you might say a steal for the Mets. Got him from Detroit back in, when was that, 84? For Walt Terrell. Ground ball. Hunter has it. He'll feed Maddux, and a great job of damage control by Maddux. After the Mets put on Coleman and Orsulak, he gets Murray, Bonilla, and Johnson and holds them to 1 run. We've completed 1 at Shea Stadium, and the Mets break on top 1-0. He's come to bat. Top of the 2nd inning. Justice, Hunter, and Berryhill. First 3 due up. Braves got themselves a base hit out of Nixon and a walk to Blauser, but came away empty in the 1st inning. Breaking ball strike to Justice. David at 227. His 9 homers lead the club. His 27 RBIs likewise lead the Braves. Good breaking ball from Hillman. He's got Justice 0-2.
Looks like he's got a lot of confidence in that curveball tonight. Remember the good one he threw Ron Gant for a strike last inning. David completely fooled here and just flailing at it.
Tries it again and gets the out. A looper to short, 1 gone. We got to look at his breaking ball there in 3 straight pitches. Which is the toughest after you take a look at this?
Easy play for Fernandez.
Which is the toughest to handle, a downer curveball or a big sweeping one like that?
From a guy 6'10", the sweeper.
First pitch to Hunter. Outside, 1-0.
Because it looks like it's coming from right field.
The heart may be willing, but the fanny might not be, huh?
Hind pockets are tough to control.
Right at Fernandez. And he throws out Hunter. Quickly 2 gone here in the 2nd inning.
Good to see Brian back. Hopefully he has completely recovered from that wrist injury. But I think the first test will be the first check swing.
I don't know if we talked about it when on TV the other night, but as Berryhill strides to the plate, I overheard a great conversation between Hunter and Terry Pendleton. They were talking about coming back and swinging the bat, and Terry was saying, yeah, he's ready, and Brian said, yeah, I'm ready. I said, well, have you tried any check swings? And Pendleton's eyes got big. Well, another chance for Fernandez, and I think we'll have to hold that for a while. In the dirt, dug out by Mirror. So Hillman sets him down easily. 1, 2, 3, they go in the second. Mets coming up in their half, still on top, 1-0.
All coming your way tomorrow afternoon here at Chase Stadium for you folks in the Southeast. 1 o'clock Eastern time on Sports South. Ernie Johnson Sr. and I will be bringing you the action against the Mets. And then on TBS, we come back your way on Sunday, 1:35 Eastern time on TBS. That game, Saturday's game, Smoltz against Gooden. Sunday, Avery and Saberhagen.
And Fernandez leads it off with a looper to left center that's going to get in for a base hit. So the second starts just like the first for Greg Maddux. And Fernandez is at first. He's attempted 7 steals. He's been successful 5 times. That'll bring up Jeff Kent. Talking about this guy, Joe, prior to the game, you kind of like him, don't you?
I like his swing a lot. I haven't really seen enough of him defensively to know how good he's going to be at second base for the Mets. But when they unloaded David Cone last year to the Toronto Blue Jays in the pennant race for the Jays.
There goes Fernandez, and he swiped it. Well, the Mets may have served notice as to what their offensive strategy is going to be. When they get on, we're going to send them.
As Don told you, this is number 6 for Tony Fernandez. He has good speed, takes advantage of a good jump. And on the first pitch, he's in scoring position now for Kent, who was acquired along with an outfielder, Ryan Thompson, from the Blue Jays. Thompson has been sent back to AAA, however.
It's 1-0 to Kent. Tries to take a shot to the right side, hits it out of play, and it's 1-1. Kent has been on a tear lately. He's hit 12 of his last 14 ball games. He was hitting about 163 2 weeks ago. For this homestand, which has been 11 at bats for him, he's hitting close to 500, so he's picked it up a notch. If you look at a chart on him, most of the time he hits the ball from right center field to the left field line. Is definitely a pull hitter. Almost got him, and it's 2-1. But with a runner at second, looks like he's trying to hit it to the right side to get Fernandez to third.
Jeff Kent takes a close call here. He got hit in the head the other day by Jack Armstrong. Got hit in the helmet and was on the shelf for a few days. They did extensive tests on him, but everything okay, and that's why he's back out there.
Every time it's not funny when somebody gets hit like that. You always hope that it turns out well. In that case, it's good. But every time I hear him talking about x-rays for somebody who get hit in the helmet, I always think of the Dizzy Dean line when he got hit. He said they took x-rays of his head and showed nothing.
Yeah.
2 balls and 1 strike to Kent. Good pitch from Maddux, and it's 2-2. By the way, we were late getting to the park today. We held up the whole Long Island Expressway. Our bus was 56 minutes holding the traffic up so Pete Van Weeren could stop and get a haircut.
Traffic patterns, huh? They closed down how many highways are around the area?
4 lanes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Same spot, but this time couldn't get him to go for it. It's a full count. Your average common man. Nice night here in New York. Very cool. Clouds in and out during the early evening, but it's turned out to be a nice evening. That's fouled into the stands, and it's still 3-2.
Did you like pitching here?
I like pitching here. This is if you can pitch away from the lines, this is definitely a pitcher's ballpark. And normally in the summer, there's a breeze coming in from center field. You can see down the line it's 338, which is about average dimensions. Right at the bullpen, both bullpens, the ball will get out of there in a hurry. But if you can pitch from the 371 in left center to the 371 in right, this is a friendly ballpark for pitchers. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pickoff into center field. Fernandez will end at third, give the error to Maddux. And the Mets threatening to stick another one on the board.
They had Fernandez too. Good throw gets him. Caught him leaning a little bit, and if they puts that throw on the base, they have him easy.
Good quick turn, good reactions by Lemke and by Maddux, but the throw just bounces into center field. Let's see if the Braves bring the infield in. And let's see what Dallas Green has up his sleeves. Dallas Green kept most of the coaching staff. Barry Foote, who was first base coach
right
for Jeff Torborg, and Dave LaRoche, who was his bullpen coach, have gone. Darrell Johnson has taken over, and word is our Bobby Wine, who has done the advanced scouting for the Braves for a few years, is now going to come here, and he'll be a bench coach. Got him with the breaking ball. Strikeout number 2 for Maddux. 1 gone. The infield will continue to stay in for Todd Hundley. Do you hit any different with the infield in than you would with it back?
No, but I didn't take any different approach, but I always thoroughly enjoyed seeing them come in, because any sharply hit ground ball has got such a great chance of going through. You just knew that the advantage was in the hitters, on the hitter's side in this situation. But runner at third base, I was just trying to think about hitting the ball to the outfield, really driving the ball to the outfield.
They give Hundley the middle of the diamond. First pitch is inside, and it's 1-0. Lemke was playing way over near Brian Hunter at first. Pendleton near the bag at third. Blauser about normal spot, but look how far over Lemke is. A big hole right up the middle. Everybody assuming Maddux will get a glove on one.
Yeah, I think that's a good play. Gold Glove winner last year.
1-1.
Back for the last couple of years, that was a rare error. He made 3 all of last season.
This is a good fielding pitching staff. These are good athletes.
Right.
Smoltz, Pete Smith, Avery, and especially Glavine, who hasn't made an error in we're coming up on 3 years now. Fernandez at third. 1 gone. Fisted. Blauser might have 2. Yes. A big, bad base running mistake for Fernandez, and the Braves get a break. That's not going to make him happy. A good pitch out of Maddux, and the Braves escape all damage here in the 2nd inning. For the Mets, no runs a hit, no errors. Take a look at this. And as we have completed 2, the Mets are still on top, 1-0.
This is a play that ended the Mets' 2nd inning. First of all, great pitch by Greg Maddux. Really got in on Hundley's hands. But with the infield in, where was Tony Fernandez going? We talked about their physical talent and the ability that some of their players had. The thing that's been plaguing them most of this season and all of last year was a lot of mental mistakes, and that's exactly what that was.
A break for the Braves, and Lemke will lead off the 3rd. You'll remember back the 7th of the month against Colorado, Mark had his first 2 home run game of his career. Squirter off the end of the bat, and it's 1-1. Mark at 281, 5 homers, 14 RBIs. 2 out of 9 against the Expos, but in his last 6 ball games, he's hitting a cool 333. He's raised his batting average almost 60 points in the last 2 weeks.
And hitting over 400 right-handed. 15 for 37, a double, 2 triples, and 4 of his homers. 1-1. Were
Down
you
low, 2-1.
Were you aware of a switch hitter who hit better from the left side when you faced him?
Yeah, because I never looked. Well, I don't know that I was aware of whether or not he hit better. Ground ball base hit for Lemke, and there you set that up nicely. There's another base hit for Lemke. But I was aware, let's say, I was only concerned with him as a left-hander. I was aware of what he did left-handed.
More of a situation where you knew what he did against you and how he hit against you. Mark drove this one right back through the box nicely. And he continues his hot hitting, especially right-handed. Braves have their leadoff man on again.
Nice little visit Mark and Eddie Murray are having over there. Now, first pickoff attempt, Murray will probably tag him hard on the head. They're looking for a bunt. You could see Howard Johnson was halfway to the plate. Maddux hitting .273, and he is a good bunter. You let him swing away? Missed that one, though, and it's 0-1.
I think about it, as close as Johnson is playing him. And not only is Hojo close, he's real close to the line, too. So there's a big gap between Tony Fernandez and Howard Johnson defensively.
And as they do on the rotation on a bunt like that, Fernandez is moving toward the bag at second. He is not moving to cover up the hole. You see the gap right there. And Fernandez will take steps towards second as soon as the pitch is made.
And you got a big guy, 6'10", charging off the mound at you, too.
It could take him 2 or 3 seconds to get unfurled. No balls and 1 strike. Hit number 2 for the Braves. Bunting, but he takes it low, and it's 1-1.
If you're Howard Johnson and you're in there where you can smell what Maddux had for dinner on his breath, I mean, you don't want Hillman laying any soft curveballs in there.
No.
Even if he is a pitcher. And
unless you got shin guards and a face mask.
And remember, Greg's hitting .273.
2-1. I don't think I've seen anybody get any closer than Howard Johnson. Even if Maddux swings and misses, it's got to take years off his life. 1-0 Mets, top of the third. Outside, and it's 3-1.
Check the scouting report on Eric Hillman. He has trouble throwing to guys who square around.
We were talking before about Bobby Wine is coming here to join Dallas Green. We certainly want to wish Bobby well here. He is a good guy, and he has done a great job of being the advanced scout. He compiles some great reports for the Braves. And remember, he coached here for a while, too. He was on the staff until Jim Beecham moved on. No need going through the signs. Just make sure. That's what Jimmy Williams was doing. Might have been a little acting by Maddux then. He squared around, and as soon as Hillman threw to first, he drew the bat back like he was going to swing. Let's see what he's got in mind. He is bunting and takes ball 4. That will not make new manager Dallas Green very happy.
No, and unusual for Hillman. Like we told you, an average of only, or actually under 2 walks per 9 innings of work. He had walked 4 in his first 10 innings since his return to the big leagues this year, and now 2 tonight. So that unusual wild spurt for him.
That'll put Lemke at second, Maddux at first, and it'll bring up one of the best bunters in the National League, and Otis Nixon. Otis led off the game with a single.
Difference this situation, Howard has to play back. Eddie Murray can play in.
Foul bunt attempt. And you could see Nixon was trying to bring that one down the line. Jimmy Williams relaying the signs to Lemke, to Maddux, and to Nixon.
Would like to get Johnson to field this baseball, but it's hard enough that he has to come in and get it.
Could be a chance for Hillman. He goes to third, and he's safe. And that's going to get Howard Johnson out of here. And I'll tell you what, he may get some time off for that one because he bumped him. So Dallas Green is going to earn his pay in a hurry.
Howard Johnson got a quick ejection because he made contact with Jerry Lane. And now we're going to find out about the reputation of Dallas Green defending his ball players. Johnson's still chirping. And a late call by Lane, too. He waited a long time to throw up the safe sign.
You know, I can't remember Howard Johnson losing his cool that quickly.
Me neither.
But he did bump him, and, you know, who knows.
Here's the play again. Otis bunted it right back toward the pitcher. Dropped back, and now he and Hundley collide a little bit. Hillman had it all the time he needed. Looked like Hojo had a reason to be upset. Look how far he was off the bag there at third before Lane made the call. And now there's the bump. See ya.
Bye.
And now he grabs him.
So the Mets will have to bring on a third baseman. Well, let me ask you, couldn't Bobby Cox have argued that Otis Nixon was interfered with at the plate? Who has...
Catcher's supposed to have the ability to come out of there unimpeded.
Okay.
But he was not involved in the play. Since the bunt went right back to Eric Hillman. There's Eric. Chico Walker is going to come out and play third base. But again, since Hundley wasn't involved in the play, there was no interference. Otis was just making sure he got the ball down. Now, if that ball's right out in front of home plate, where Hundley may have a play, then they may have had an argument for interference. Looked out from that angle.
I don't think it was anything verbal that got him bounced. I think it was the fact that he ran out there and bumped him.
Yeah.
And I also, in his defense, don't think he intentionally ran out there to shove the umpire. He just kind of got carried away.
He threw on the brakes a little late, let's say.
Yes. Well, Chico Walker's at third. Insert him on your lineup card. He will bat in the fifth spot. And the Braves may have caught a couple of breaks there.
Exactly.
So the bases are loaded. Still nobody out. And Jeff Blauser is the hitter. Blauser walked his first time up. Braves got the first two on to start the ball game, but couldn't come out of it with anything. Pendleton grounded into a 5-3 double play with Johnson stepping on the bag at third and throwing to first. Blauser a chance to do some damage. They play him straight up in the outfield.
And by the way, I don't know if we mentioned it, but that goes as a fielder's choice for Otis Nixon.
The lefty will work from the stretch and misses ball one to Blauser.
This is where the Braves have really picked it up a notch. We've been talking about how much their offense has been improving, but when they've had opportunities to drive in runs in the last couple of weeks, they've been making the best of it.
There's a strike to Blauser, and it's 1-1. Hillman most effective when he keeps it down in the strike zone, and most effective when he's getting ground balls, not fly balls. Nobody has really hit the ball hard off of him. The hardest ball hit yet may have been the double play ball hit by Pendleton.
That and Gant's long fly that he got under a little.
1 ball, 1 strike. Good cut by Blauser, but it's 1-2. Greg Maddux, if he could score behind Lemke, he would score the same number of runs in this game that he normally gets. He's getting about 2 a day to work with. That'll get out of play, and it's still 1-2.
You know what that looked like from Blauser was almost an adjustment that's hard to make. Normally in this situation. You don't want to look anything but fastball and then adjust to a breaking ball. But as many curveballs as he has seen, it was almost like, well, I'll just fight this fastball off. And I'm still kind of thinking about that curveball, looking for it. Let's see if he gets it here.
Big hole to hit through on the left side if he does get it. A looper to center. That's going to score Lemke. Maddux had to hold up, but now he's coming as the ball is kicked around. And that's not going to win Bobby Bonilla anymore, fans. Braves get 2 on the board and lead it 2-1. Probably only 1 RBI for Blauser.
I would agree. That would be the correct call. Bonilla kicked it after he picked it up. In fact, Jimmy Williams was holding Maddux up. Greg had almost come to a complete stop at third and then had to get going again. That looked like a changeup. Straight change. Jeff stayed with it. Hit it off the end of the bat. Now watch Bonilla. He looked up just a little bit too soon and booted it away from him. That's what allowed the second run to score.
It's been an inning of gifts for the Braves. The air is charged to Bonilla. Nixon is at second. Blauser is at first. Still nobody out, and here's Pendleton. Good play by Pendleton, but it's going to kick foul. I think Chico Walker could have stuck that in his pocket. At worst, he gets thrown out in there at second and third, if that's fair.
Exactly. Great play by Terry. If it just had been able to hug the grass a little bit. The baselines here at Shea Stadium have the grass growing right up to the baselines. No real dirt area on each side of the line. And if that had been able to die a little bit in the grass, it would have been bases loaded easily.
The count 0-1 to Pendleton.
And for a guy who likes to bunt like let's say an Otis Nixon, you got to love the way the baselines are cut here.
The wheel play doesn't work. Terry 1 out of 3 on Wednesday against the Expos. He was 3 for 11 in the series. Terry hitting right at .390 for the last week. He's going to try it again, and again it's foul. So the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Pendleton. This is game number 43 for the Braves. Show you what a difference a year makes and how much Terry has struggled early on. This time last year he was hitting .322. He already had 13 doubles and 7 homers. Right now he has 8 doubles and 2 homers. Back up the middle, off Hillman. Heads up play by Hillman. And very quickly tells his dugout he's okay. But that's a good play by the big guy and a heads up play. Nixon had to stay at second.
Line drive looked like it got him on the arm, but maybe the hip. And if there's not a runner at second base, he probably doesn't throw Pendleton out at first, but since he only had a quick toss to make to third, he made a nice recovery. And obviously it missed his arm, or he wouldn't be telling the dugout he's okay.
So Blauser's at second. Pendleton is at first on the fielder's choice. Still only 1 out. Here's Ron Gant. Gant just missed a home run his first at bat, probably by less than 1/8 of an inch on the bat. Just got under a breaking ball. Out in front of this one, and it's 0-1. Ron at 241. His home run, the only offense in Tom Glavine's shutout against the Expos on Wednesday. And for Ron, his 8th of the year. To center field. On the run is Orsulak. He'll catch up to it. No advance by the Braves, and there are 2 outs. So twice Gant has flirted with extra bases.
Got under one and hit that one a little bit off the end of the bat. Looked like for a second, though, when he first hit it with Orsulak really playing him to pull, it might find a spot to land in out in right center field.
See, that's that area we were talking about early out there where the ball just seems to hang in the air. And that one hung long enough for Orsulak to track it down. 2 gone, and here's David Justice. Justice soft liner to short his last time up. Got 3 straight breaking balls from Hillman. Starts him out the same way. That's 4 consecutive curveball strikes to David Justice. Just trying to keep Blauser close. Were you ever one of those guys that went to the airport to watch planes take off and land?
No. No.
3 days here would break you of that if you really wanted to, wouldn't it?
Well, I think you could get just about all you wanted.
Braves at first and second, 2 outs. Fastball caught him looking, and he's in a hole 0-2. Kind of hard to look for that after 4 curveball strikes, isn't it?
He finally had decided he ought to wait on the curveball, and he got one right down Broadway.
No balls, 2 strikes. Comes from the side and takes care of Justice. I'll tell you what, that's some pretty good pitching and some good plays by Hillman. A minimum amount of damage for the Braves in the inning. 2 runs. They did it on 2 hits. There was 1 Met error. We play 2.5. Braves on top 2-1.
This Saturday on TBS.
Give me a poke.
The streaks are bad, but surviving them is worse.
It's a promise.
First, Van Dam gets a kick out of this kind of stuff. Death Warrant. Next, it's city living at its worst. Defiance. Then,
I thought you were dead.
Kurt Russell.
Comey's thing.
Escape from New York. 3 movies that will keep you off the streets. Beginning at 12:05 Eastern Saturday on TBS.
2 runs, 3 hits, and an error for the Braves. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for the Mets. Sorry, Joseph.
That's all right. We'll do the disclaimer here in just a second.
My fault. Hillman will lead it off. Fouls the first and back. 0-1. Go.
This telecast, authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club, is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
0-2 to Hillman.
Oh, he was going for the downs, though. He was trying to turn on that low breaking ball and golf it out of here.
Looks like a low ball swinger to me. Not much of a low ball hitter. Probably a pretty good golfer with that swing. Chokes up on the bat a little.
If he wanted to hit something on his shoe tops, he'd have to have a 60-inch bat.
Grounder to Hunter. He'll feed Maddux. 1 gone in the 3rd.
6'10".
Those are the kind of guys you want to play every day if you're a pitcher, because that is one big strike zone. Huge strike zone. Coleman strolls nonchalantly to the plate. He will allow Hillman a chance to get into the dugout. Coleman led off the game with a single for the Mets. Swiped second. Eventually came around to score. The only run of the night for the Mets. That stolen base, his 18th. No balls and 1 strike.
Greg's going right back to the spot in the first inning that was working, even though Coleman was able to get aboard in the first inning on a jam shot that bounced high off the plate. He's going to keep the ball in on him, it looks like.
Little looper. He's got a base hit. That's 2 for Coleman. That'll push him closer to 260, and he is always a threat to steal, Joe.
No question. You look at the Mikan stolen base leaders in the National League. Chuck Carr at the top of the list with 19. And Darren Lewis, Otis Nixon, and Vince Coleman all with 18 now. And Coleman has a chance to tie Carr.
And there's a pretty good chance he'll be running. Orsulak's the batter. He got a single. Joe mentioned earlier that tandem they put in the outfield. They're hitting right now just a shade over 320 combined, close at first. The tandem of Orsulak and Gallagher. How does a guy like this get cut loose? I mean, he's what, a 275 lifetime hitter?
Something thereabouts, and a very solid defensive outfielder. I think he was a good pickup by the Mets. And he and Gallagher complement each other very nicely.
First pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Orsulak last year was with the Baltimore Orioles. He was in 117 ball games, hit .289. A couple of the other things that are very impressive, he only struck out 34 times and close to 420 at bats.
And he can pop the ball out of the ballpark once in a while for you too. They started with Ryan Thompson in center field. He thought he was going to be their everyday. Mets thought he was going to be their everyday center fielder, but when he struggled, they sent him back to AAA, and these two guys are going to share it, Gallagher and Orsulak.
Off the end of the bat, Pendleton to Hunter, and that'll take care of Orsulak. Coleman will stop at second. 2 gone.
That was not an easy play for Terry. It was hit off the end of Orsulak's bat, and every time it bounced, it seemed to change directions. It was like a cue ball with a lot of English on it, and Terry was going to make sure that he had it in his glove before he looked to first.
If you watch a ball game, as Murray comes up to bat, don't just watch where the ball is caught and where it's thrown to. Look around it sometime. That time, something really pretty took place defensively. Coleman is at second. You know he can continue to run. Blauser and Maddux both, and Berryhill was headed to third base to make sure it wasn't unoccupied. That's how you play good team defense. Murray a grounder to third his last time, a grounder to second this time. Lemke will stay with it. Throw him out. So that'll wrap up the Mets' third inning for him. For the Mets in the inning, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We have completed 3. It's still the Braves 2, the Mets 1.
Checking some other scores around the National League. Chicago's taking a 2-0 lead over Florida. Phillies on top of Montreal. Big series in Philadelphia. St. Louis over Pittsburgh. Everything else a little bit later on, and we'll give you the American League right after this batter.
Brian Hunter will lead it off. Grounded to short his first time up. Takes the first one high. It's 1-0. Big cut by Hunter. Gets just a piece of it. And a count 1-1.
Good swing on Brian's part there. Looked like he was certainly not feeling any pain. Look at the gap for him in right center here.
And down the right field line. Do you think they're expecting him to pull? Ball 2 is inside. Kent at second is directly behind second. Bobby Bonilla is like the rover in a softball game. He's in right center field and not very deep. Down and in, and it's 3-1.
Brian was 3 for 8 on his work in his couple of games down at the extended spring training. Had 2 doubles and an RBI.
That's foul. 3-2. How do you know how many at bats are enough when you're coming back on a rehab assignment like that?
As long as you're swinging pain-free, I would say even if it's only 8 or 10 at bats, that's enough.
Did he get a piece of it? Yes, he did. Still 3-2.
And that's provided you saw, I would say as a hitter, if I knew myself, if I saw several different pitches in different locations and I went to them in different ways and still was pain-free, I would say that I'd be all right. I'm not sure that you were able to finish that story earlier.
Now's a good time as he fouled it away. I was listening to Pendleton and Hunter talk about hitting, and Terry's asking him, how do you feel about it? And I said, are you ready to come back and swing? And he said, yeah. I said, well, when you were down there, were you taking good swings without it hurting? He said, yeah. I said, any check swings? Pendleton's eyes got very big. He says, he ain't going to be taking any check swings. He said, when you start hacking, you hack. No check swings. He takes ball 4 inside. That was a close pitch.
We'll check the American League scores for you now. At Cleveland, Albert Bell has hit his 14th home run. Cecil Fielder is 7th. Cleveland on top of Detroit. Minnesota an early 1-0 lead over Toronto. Milwaukee got 6 runs in the 3rd inning. 4 on a grand slam by Kevin Reimer. Boston over New York early. Oakland has scored in the 2nd inning. The other 2 games will get underway in a little while.
Here it's 2-1 Braves. Nobody out, top of the 4th. Hunter draws a leadoff walk, and here's Berryhill. And he'll draw a throw to first. A guy like we saw Brian Barnes down in Atlanta for Montreal. A guy about 5'9", 5'10". Now you got a guy like Hillman, a left-hander. If you're the base runner, which one is the easiest to get a jump on?
Oh, I would think Hillman. You used the word unfurled earlier. Just takes him a little bit longer to get rid of it, even though he's trying to use a quick step to the plate. Brian Barnes had a real funny little move, kind of a Bob McClure type move, where he just brought his knee behind the rubber when he went to the plate each time, so he could still go to first if he wanted to.
No balls and a strike to Berryhill. That's fouled away, and it's 0-2, and that time he picked off Brian Hunter.
Yeah, it's a good thing that went foul.
Not literally, but the only thing Hunter didn't do was dive back to the bag.
Well, let's remember, this is Brian's first base running assignment since the middle of April, at least at the big league level.
Inside, 1-2. Mark Lemke waits on deck. Mets got one in the first. The Braves answered with two in the top of the third. And on a very big play at third base, a bunt attempt by Nixon, Howard Johnson got ejected. So they'll play the rest of the night without their third baseman, their starting third baseman. Also, when you look down the lineup, we had mentioned earlier that some of these guys on the Mets had handled Greg Maddux fairly well. Johnson was one. He was 20 out of 66, and he had hit 5 dingers off Greg. So you know Maddux is not unhappy to see him out of there. And it's one less switch hitter to deal with. To left center field on the run is Coleman. He'll get there. Hunter will make tracks back to first, and there's one out.
Damon Berryhill trying to snap out of a little slump he's in, and he keeps hitting the ball hard but right at people. Remember 3 nights ago against the Expos in that 1-0 loss, he hit the ball hard with runners on, but he hit it right at Delano DeShields.
Here's Lemke. He started all the action in the 3rd inning with a leadoff single. Mark now at 287. He said something kind of interesting in the paper yesterday. First pitch to Mark is down low, 1-0. Down in the Atlanta paper, Mark was saying he doesn't want to know what his batting average is.
Yeah.
Doesn't even want to think about it. Doesn't want to. Last day of the season, he says, fill me in on what I hit for the year.
That struck me funny in that usually a guy wants to know how he's going. I mean, as if you didn't know when you go to the plate. But I think sometimes a hitter can find a source of confidence by looking at his average.
Kind of hard not to know here as you stand at the plate as a right-handed hitter. That's what greets you from the scoreboard in right field. You like the scoreboard, don't you?
I think it's one of the best.
It's 2-0 to Lemke.
It's the old-fashioned big monster board out in right center field.
Let me tell you what throws me. Sometimes we will give you the scores, and if you look on the right side there where it says Atlanta and New York, almost invariably I almost read that one when I start giving you the scores. We'll run down the scores for you. It's Atlanta 2, New York 1. Fly ball to center. It should be an easy one for Orsulak. He's got it. 2 outs. Looks like it's going to be up to Greg Maddux if the Braves are going to do any damage here in the 4th inning. Maddux walked in the 2nd inning behind Lemke's single. He went up there intending to sacrifice him. Then he eventually scored on Bonilla's error. Inside, 1-0. Maddux has it's not a ritual, it's a part of his preparation for the ball game that I like. I don't know if everybody does it. To left field, Coleman on the run got it. So Maddux hits it on the button. What he does when he gets to the park is he goes right to Jim Beecham and gets the opposing lineup and takes it with him to his locker. So the Braves come up empty here in the 4th inning. We played 3.5. The Bravos still on top 2-1.
Bottom half of the 4th inning. Braves still on top 2-1. In time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. who was the New York Mets' first manager when they were an expansion team back in 1962? We'll give you a hint. His number is retired out on the outfield wall, and we'll let you try to figure out which one it was when we give you a shot of it.
Bobby Bonilla, Chico Walker, and Fernandez first up here in the 4th inning. 2-1 Braves. Foul away. Unfortunately, getting fired when you're hired after being hired to manage a ball club, nobody's ever managed one for a lifetime, I don't think. Unfortunately, that's a part of the game. And unfortunately, sometimes the manager gets all the blame because it's easier to nail one manager than it is. There are those numbers you were talking about. 0-2.
Two of those numbers were managers. Only one was the first manager.
Down low, and it's 1-2. And unfortunately for Jeff Torborg, it became a no-win situation here. And I think he made 3 wrong assumptions. Number 1, after the pitch, inside it's 2-2. He assumed that everybody here was in this thing together. Number 2, he assumed that every male over 21 was a man, and his third assumption was if you treated men like men, they would respond accordingly, and it just didn't work out here. He will surface somewhere else, and he will do well. He is a quality man. Didn't mean to, and Pendleton's got it. That's about as easy as you will get it out from somebody in the middle of a lineup. And the Boo Birds have come home to roost here tonight.
Last year they were calling him Bobby Bonilla. Sounds like things are returning to last year's form, even though he's been swinging the bat very well the last week or so.
Here's Chico Walker. Strike on the breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
Talked about getting a switch hitter out of the lineup, Don. Well, he was just replaced by one, so what's the difference?
This one is hitting 205 with no homers.
That's a big difference.
Here's a guy that has bounced around, and we're talking about Orsulak and Gallagher. He's put together some pretty good years some places too. Off the end of the bat, chance for Pendleton. In a hurry, and he gets Walker. A busy inning for Pendleton already, and 2 are out.
And Maddux is making some great pitches this inning. Had Bonilla fooled on a ball away from him and gets right in on Walker's hands. He has jammed some guys tonight.
He makes pitching look like an optical illusion, doesn't he? The guys are taking big cuts at balls that aren't in the neighborhood when they finish the swing. This guy can pitch. He's like watching a guy take a scalpel and just carve him up. Here's Fernandez. That's out of play. And it's 0-1. Fernandez a single, swiped the base, went to third on a throwing error his last time up.
That pitch he made on Hundley, though, when they doubled Fernandez off third base, you just don't see that happen very often, where a guy takes basically a full swing and hits it about 80 feet out behind the mound.
There's a similar pitch and a similar swing, only that one didn't get fair. And he's got Fernandez in a hole 0-2. I'm glad to see a guy like Maddux and a guy like Glavine pitch well, win Cy Youngs, and get all the accolades, because usually, inside 1-2. Usually it's the guy like a Roger Clemens or a Nolan Ryan that people give more respect to because they can throw the ball 99 miles an hour. But this guy can dominate a ball game and dominate hitters just as effectively as guys like that can.
And part of the reason for me, Don, that he can is that last pitch. He keeps guys honest. He pitches inside and is not afraid to go in there.
He and Barry Hill having trouble getting together on one. A lot of times what he will do on that pitch, where he runs one in close, he'll follow it with that comeback fastball, try to catch the inside corner. He has so many weapons to play with. That's what he tried to do and just missed it. It's 2-2. I watch him pitch, and sometimes I forget we're supposed to be covering it because I just enjoy watching him pitch. On the ground to short. Blauser got him. Well, that's another good inning. That's 5 in a row set down by Maddux. Mets go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the books. Braves on top 2-1.
All right, remember, who was the first Mets manager? Was it door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? The answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question, Casey Stengel.
Number 37. Number 14 was on that ball club, though, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Gil Hodges.
Gil Hodges.
The late, great Gil Hodges.
And, of course, number 41, Tom Terrific, Tom Seaver.
2-0 to Nixon. Remember, Stengel had some of those great quotes. They asked him about one of his pitchers once, and he said, "We don't know what he does, but every now and then he does it." Good fastball from Hillman. It's 2-1.
I heard a great story about Casey one time testifying before a Senate subcommittee about the
fair ball. Could be 2. Nixon, because Bonilla was over there, will settle for 1. And Otis has his second hit of the night.
And also has a hit because Eddie Murray was playing in and over that way. Eddie didn't have the room to maneuver for this ball that was slapped towards him. You can see him, he was in on the grass. And that's why that was a base hit for Otis. But Casey was testifying about the antitrust situation for baseball, their exclusion. He went into this long speech and just double talk back and forth. And they asked Mickey Mantle what he thought about it. And he goes, "Well, I agree with Casey, what he said."
Here's Jeff Blauser. Blauser perfect. A walk and a base hit. Out in front, it's 0-1. So Casey did for an hour there naturally what a lot of the folks who were investigating him do for a living. He also said about a guy, he said he's 21 years old. No, he's 25 years old, and if he plays 5 more years, he's got a chance to be 30. Nixon back easily. Joe Simpson, Don Sutton with you from Shea Stadium, the first of 3 here over the weekend. We're with you for 3 more outs. Then Skip and Pete will take you the rest of the way. 2-1 Braves. We're in the top of the 5th inning. A leadoff single to Nixon. Did it hit him?
That scared everybody. Otis jumped like he was going to second. Hillman flinched, then almost hit Blauser. I think Otis thought they were going to pitch out there when he made that first crossover step. Maybe he thought Hillman was going to either go back to first or pitch out.
And Hillman acted like a guy who had been goosed.
Yeah.
And he may have disrupted his rhythm with that, because there's the 2 pitches right there, not even close to the strike zone, and it's 2-1 to Blauser. Do you start him up, play a little hit and run here?
Well, I think Otis has probably seen Hillman enough. I know the Braves saw the Mets several times in spring training, and I know that there was at least one occurrence where Hillman started against Atlanta, so Otis may have him in his book already.
Draws the throw, but he was back easily.
Certainly not a bad idea to hit and run here. Good pitch to run on.
Not going to center field. Orsulak's got it. Blauser's out. Looked like he hit that ball right on the button, but it's just not carrying the center here at Shea. 1 out. Here's Terry Pendleton. They play Terry straight up in the outfield, about as straight up as Abner Doubleday designed the infield. Another throw to first.
By the way, with Otis at first base, we double-checked on the scoring on his bunt back in the 3rd inning. Remember when Howard Johnson was ejected on that close play at third? Official score here in New York did not credit Otis with a sacrifice and a fielder's choice, just a fielder's choice.
Out of play, 0-1. The official score here, a writer who covered the landing of the Mayflower. I think he's been around a long time and a very distinguished sports writer, Red Foley.
Well, he should know better than
He didn't clear that with Hal Galima, did he?
No, he didn't.
There goes Nixon. Hundley's throw will not be in time. He swiped it. Otis now has 19.
When you're 6'10", it's tough to get out of the way of a throw, but look how close that came to Hillman, sailing over the top of his head. Hundley's throw well short of the mark, and it almost got his pitcher.
A little insurance in scoring position. The count 1-1 to Pendleton. Outside, it's 2-1. Get out of play, and it's 2-2. That may be his best fastball of the night.
I think it was. It was upstairs, too. Like around the letters on Terry, and he had a little trouble getting on top of it and getting around.
Is it easier for you to hit against a guy who pitches in the same area all the time? Let's say the book on him is he likes it down, so you can. Do you go up and just look in the lower half of the strike zone?
Definitely. Definitely. Anything that, if you're looking at belt or below and anything above that, you got to lay off of it. You know he's not going to hurt you upstairs with anything hard.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Braves. The Mets, a run on 4 hits. They have committed an error. A costly one. It allowed the deciding run to score. There's that pitch upstairs, and just like you said, Pendleton unable to handle it, and it's 2-2. Down low, and it's 3-2. Hillman has walked 3. Normally a young man who throws it in the strike zone. Nobody stirring around down in the bullpen yet. Off the end of the bat, Murray's got it. To Hillman. Nixon thinking about coming down. That's a good play by Murray. And Pendleton may have chased ball 4.
I think he did, Don. He was just trying to make sure he didn't take strike 3, and in the process cost himself an at bat. He chased a couple of other high balls earlier, but a nice play by Eddie Murray. Saves one down the line this time, and they get the out.
Two gone for Ron Gant. Gant has flied to left. He's flied to center. The one to left drove Coleman to the warning track. Bunt. He can stick it in his pocket. Well, you saw him hit a homer on Wednesday to win one. Catches him napping here with a bunt, and the Braves lead it 3-1.
What a great idea. Remember, Chico Walker came in the game after Howard Johnson was ejected. He was playing deep for the pull hitter, and Ron Gant takes advantage of it. He didn't have to put down a perfect bunt because he was playing so deep, and there's nothing Chico Walker could do. What a great job.
And a little insurance. Here's David Justice.
And yes, it's an RBI.
David will be happy when Hillman decides to take the rest of the night off. He has had some tough at-bats against Hillman. Hit a little soft liner to short his first time up, but struck out swinging. Hillman has only thrown him one fastball in 2 at-bats.
Yeah, if he's going to look for a curveball, just go up there looking for it from first pitch on. Slides the hand down the bat, right around the brand. And this is one of those where you want to make sure it's fair. You don't want to make it perfect. Just make sure it stays fair.
0-1 to Justice. Downstairs, it's 1-1.
If you're going to look for a breaking ball from this slow curve from this guy, if you're Dave Justice, lefty to lefty, it's almost like you've got to pretend to tie a rope to your feet. Make sure you don't take your step too early so that when you see the fastball, you don't suddenly react to it, take a check swing at it. You just have to wait.
You go up there and have a pitch where you just say, okay, I'm just going to set on a breaking ball, and if I don't get it, I take it.
Right.
Okay.
Don't even offer.
Oh, you guys, you hitters are smart.
Yeah.
Sneaky, too. There it is. He was right on it. But he comes up empty, and it's 1-2.
Watch what Dave does here. He does a little stutter step on his stride. See how he stopped himself with that real quick little step? That was a timing device for him to remember to stay back and wait for the curveball. He was looking for it all the way, but still came up empty.
Well, that was a good swing at a great curveball. This one too big, and it's 2-2. Sometimes you can take a perfect swing, but if a guy throws a hook like that,
not much you can do about it. But he's making some adjustments, and it may not even pay off for him this at bat, but maybe the next time around.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Not much of a lead by Gann at first, but he'll draw the throw anyway. Ron's stolen base total down some. He's only swiped 6. He's been caught 4 times. Off the end of the bat, Fernandez will take the short route, and that'll take care of Gann. But the Braves come up with 1 here in the 5th inning. They do it on a couple of hits, and they leave 1 empty. We're going to leave you now. We're halfway home. Braves on top 3-1.
We go to the bottom of the 5th. Pete Van Wieren, Skip Carey with you now. Braves on top 3-1. Boy, it was a super bunt by Ron Gann, wasn't it, Pete?
Well, he had swung the bat pretty well his first 2 at-bats, had nothing to show for it. A warning track fly ball to left, a fly ball to deep right center, and with Chico Walker back at third as deep as he was, and that runner at third, why not? Good way to get a run in.
Jeff Kent leads things off here for the Mets. Kent, a strikeout victim, his first time. Greg Maddux into the wind, and the delivery right through there. It's 0-1. Maddux staggered early, as he so often does, but he's settled down and pitched effectively the last few innings. 3-5-1 for Atlanta, 1-4-1 for the Mets. He's out in front, 0-2.
Gotta like the way Greg Maddux prepares for a game. First thing he does when he arrives in the clubhouse, get the other team's lineup, then he gets the stat sheets and the notes, goes to his locker and studies up on what the hitters have been doing all year and what they've been doing lately.
That's a little high. 1-2 is the count. Learned something interesting today. Notice there was not as much traffic as normal, and I mean, 500,000 people in the last year, somebody told us. Outside, 2-2. 500,000 less people employed in Manhattan. Wow. Two balls, 2 strikes. High pop on the infield. Who wants it? Lemke is there. He's got it. 1 away. Todd Hundley will be the batter.
You can see on the lineup card, if we can get the bat boy out of the way, that the debut of Dallas Green. He needs a little help. He hasn't been following the Mets. He's been scouting the other clubs in the National League, so they need some help. And the other coaches have given him all sorts of notes on the Braves roster.
Hundley popped into a double play his first time. Takes that one right in there. 0-1. If you joined us late, Howard Johnson was kicked out of the game by Jerry Lane in the early moments, protesting a call at third and apparently making contact. Not much doubt he made contact with the umpire. 0-2 the count.
It's Mike Draper up now in the Mets bullpen, which has been one of their real problems this year. Their bullpen has a record of 1-10 with an earned run average of 4.5.
Wow. And they've blown some saves too, huh?
They have 3 saves, 4 blown saves.
Hundley doesn't get that. He turns right. 2 down. For Maddux, his third strikeout of the game.
And this is a philosophy that Greg Maddux has. Change-ups away, change-ups in on left-hand hitters after it gets 2 strikes on him.
Hillman grounded to first, his first time. He doesn't get that one. 0-1. It's even now. A ball and a strike. Hunter fields. Maddux covers. Inning over. Another 3-1 for Hillman and another 1-2-3 inning. 8 in a row set down by Maddux. We've played 5 and the Braves lead it 3-1.
Atlanta. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. A reminder, tomorrow's game between the Braves and the Mets in the Southeast. You can see it on Sports South beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Ernie Johnson will be joined by Joe Simpson. We're back with you on Sunday afternoon, 1:35 for the final game in this series. Brett Saberhagen will pitch on Sunday against Steve Avery. Saberhagen was supposed to pitch tonight, but his grandmother passed away, so he attended the funeral services today, and his start moved back until Sunday.
And you folks in the Southeast, you get to see Joe Simpson in a coat and tie. You don't get to see that very much.
That is correct. Dress code over at Sports South, a little tougher.
I'd never make it over there. 1 ball, no strikes. Hunter pops it foul and out of play. Hundley gives it a look. The count evens, a ball and a strike. 3-5-1 for the Braves. 1-4-1 for the Mets.
Joe was checking out some of those street salesmen on 42nd Street for ties just this afternoon.
There's some buttes out there, boy. The 1-1 pitch. A little bit inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. It is Hunter, Berryhill, and Lemke in the Atlanta 6th inning. 3-1 is our score. Sort of a check swing, but he hit it hard. Bonilla is still going. He misjudged that ball. Hunter is at second. He is going to try. He will make it easily as Bonilla can't come up with the ball. He thought he had that baby all the way. Went loping back, and it just carried right over his head. Boy, Hunter is strong.
And that's been happening quite frequently to Bobby Bonilla. He committed his 5th error of the season earlier in this game when he had difficulty picking up a single that was hit to right center field. And on this one, not only does he misjudge it and not get back on the ball, but after it does sail over his head, he has trouble picking this one up. Watch now after it hits off the wall. Bonilla's first effort to get it rolls away from him again. They're going to give Brian Hunter a triple.
And a great chance to add on to the lead. Infield has to come in for New York. Hundley calls time, goes to the mound. The right-hander continues to throw. Draper in the bullpen for the Mets. Jimmy Williams talks with Brian Hunter as Todd Hundley talks with Eric Hillman. Hunter had such an effortless swing at that ball. I think that's probably what fooled Bonilla. He couldn't believe anybody could hit the ball that far, swinging that easy. Fastball away. 1 ball, no strikes.
And if you're having a year like the New York Mets are having, whenever something like that happens in a game, it almost always costs you a run. We saw that back in the 3rd inning. 2 Met mistakes, 2 Atlanta runs.
Barry Hill has bounced to short and lined hard to Vince Coleman and left. Curve up the middle with the infield in. That's through for a hit, and it's 4-1. Damon drives in his 8th run of the year. And here comes Dallas Green, and that might be all for Eric Hillman.
And for Damon Berryhill, that breaks an 0 for 23 that he had fallen into. Infield in, all they tell you to do is try to hit a ball up the middle. No way anybody can get to it. And his 8th RBI of the year. That is the end of the night for Eric Hillman. Mike Draper makes his way in from the Mets bullpen. We'll be right back.
Mike Draper on to pitch. Draper, no record, a 4.15 earned run average. This is his 13th appearance. The league is hitting .377 against him. He's 6'2", 180 pounder out of Hagerstown, Maryland. As he warms up, we'll check the other baseball for you. Montreal has taken a 3-2 lead over the Phillies in the bottom of the 6th inning. St. Louis now has increased its lead, as you see, to 7-2 over the Pirates. The Marlins have come from behind to overtake the Cubs, and the other action will be later on. In the American League, the Red Sox lead the Yankees as Wade Boggs returns to Fenway Park. Detroit coming back against Cleveland. It's now 7-5. Former Brave Mike Bilecki pitching that game. Toronto has opened up a 3-run lead over Minnesota. Milwaukee hammering Baltimore. Kevin Reimer a grand slam in that game. White Sox all over Oakland behind Alex Fernandez. California has Texas shut out 3-0 and no score in Kansas City. That's all the other baseball up to the minute. And here's Mark Lemke. He turns around and hits left-handed. He's hitting just .226 from this side. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
It's a kid the Mets drafted from the New York Yankees organization.
One ball, no strikes. Just missed. 2-0. Braves would like to break it open here. They enjoy a 4-1 lead in the 6th. Lemke, Maddux, and Nixon, the next 3 for the Atlanta team. Runner goes, hit and run single. Barry Hill is going to try. Coleman can't throw it all, so he's in there easily. And they're on the corners, and a perfect job of hitting by Mark Lemke as Bobby Cox pulls a rabbit out of the hat with the hit and run. 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
And another good night for Mark Lemke. 2 for 3 again tonight. He was hitting over .280 coming into the game. Took that pitch that was away and just inside out of the swing. Poked it in the hole on the left side of the infield.
Well, let's see how the Braves play it here. There's a variety of things they could do, one of which is to have Maddux try to bunt Lemke to second. Another is to let him hack away. He's a pretty good hitter. With no outs, the squeeze, a real long shot. Infield in for New York. Throw to first. Lemke back easily.
I know this is a game that Bobby Cox really wants to win, because many times when a managerial change is made, regardless of the team's record, when that new manager comes in, they play very well for the first few days. And if you can get an early jump on a new manager, you might keep the team in the same doldrums they've been in.
He is bunting. He bunts it foul and may have chased a bad ball. 0-1 the count. That's not a squeeze play. They're just trying to stay out of the double play and get Lemke to second. Let's see if it's still on. With the infield in, it would be tempting to roll the dice, because this guy's no joke up there. Maddux, Nixon, and Blauser, the next 3 for Atlanta. He's bunting. Strike two. Hundley set up way outside, and the pitch was over the inside corner.
Almost looked like he was expecting a pitch out there. Watch where he goes. I think he was supposed to get a pitch out on that pitch, and Draper missed the sign.
That's a good job of concentration by the home plate umpire, Paul Runge, too. With all that movement, he got the call right. See what they do on the 0-2 pitch. Looks like he's going to bunt. He's showing bunt, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Swinging and fouling into the seats. And the fans battle for the souvenir. 4-1 Atlanta. They are on the corners with nobody out. And the Braves try to break things open. Maddux has walked and lined to left. He chased a terrible pitch and struck out. So Maddux goes down swinging. There's the first out of the inning. Draper records the strikeout.
Yeah, this one way outside. And Maddux just couldn't stop his swing.
Infield still in. Otis Nixon is the batter. And Jeff Blauser moves on deck. Otis is 2 out of 3. He has stolen his 19th base of the year. He has scored a run. He turns around and hits left-handed. He's just a .218 hitter from this side. Throw to first. Lemke back.
You know, when you look at Draper's record, you wonder why the New York Yankees didn't protect him last year in their 40-man roster. He led the International League in saves with 37. He won 5 games in relief. The Yankees were looking for bullpen help. They had what looked like to be a premier closer at the AAA level. They didn't protect him. Lost him in the draft to the Mets.
And that makes his loss felt all the more when you lose it to your crosstown rival. Draper gets the sign. We await the first pitch to Otis. Little tap. Here comes the runner. Murray has him hung up. Runs right at him, falls down, throw to third. Runner gets in there. He is out at the plate. Runners at second and third. Murray made that play right. He ran right at the runner. But when he slipped and fell, that cost him a base or two, and the runners are at second and third with 2 out.
You'll see Berryhill break from third immediately, and Murray just runs right at him. Now, if he doesn't lose his footing, he might still have runners at first and second. But right there, when he falls down, he's afraid he's not going to be able to do anything with it, so he throws to third, and the runners keep on going. Takes a little longer for the play to develop, and Berryhill finally gets gunned down. Walker to the catcher, Hundley. But the runners wind up at second and third.
And a little rabbit punch by Hundley inadvertently with his tag. So now it takes a 2-out hit. Without that from Blauser, Draper will have done an exceptional job here. Into the dirt. Good play by Hundley. 1 ball, no strikes. Blauser has walked, singled in a run, and flied to center. Boy, had a chance to knock him out here. See if Blauser can pick everybody up with a 2-out hit. Strike called right in there. It's 1-1. Jeff now at 356. 3 homers, 20 runs driven in. And 5 stolen bases. Just missed outside. Terry Pendleton waits to hit next, but there are now 2 out in the inning. Lemke at third, Nixon at second, 2 out. Blauser waits. On the corner, it's 2-2. Jeff thought it was outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Draper gets the sign. And the 2-2 pitch, here it is. Outside with a breaking ball. He's got a pretty good hook. It's 3-2. Everything has been away to the right-hand hitter here. The payoff pitch into the dirt. He walked in there loaded. So the inning continues. A runner at every base now. Draper records his first walk of the game. And it's up to Terry Pendleton if the Braves are to do some damage here. That's the 4th walk by Met pitchers tonight. Hillman went 5+, 7 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. And 4 runs to this point. Bases loaded. 2 out. Threw the fastball by him. 0-1. Draper comes set. Fastball away, evens it up at a ball and a strike. No place to put Pendleton. Ron Gant is next. But there are 2 out in the inning. He's in the hole. 1-2. Took a shot at left field. Came up empty. Braves had a run in. Runners at first and third. Nobody out. They still have a run in. Now runners at second and third. 2 out. But no more runs for that man, Greg Maddux. The 1-2 pitch. Same pitch, same result. Pendleton is wrapped into a double play, lined into a fielder's choice, and grounded to first. Draper gets the sign. Another 1-2 pitch. Here it is. Just missed the inside corner. That time he came in, but too far in, and it's 2-2. Lemke leads from third, Nixon from second, Blauser from first, 2 out. Full count now, 3-2, and the old merry-go-round pitch. Now everybody running with the 3-2 offering. A walk means another run. An out keeps the Mets very much in the game, down by 3. Blauser gets a tremendous lead at first base. The 3-2 pitch. Here it is. There they go. Popped him up into short left field. Fernandez goes out, calls for it, and the inning is over. That might be a big spot in the game, and give Mike Draper some credit. He came in and put out the fire in great shape. Braves get a run on 3 hits. They leave 3. They have left 8 men in this game already. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Vince Coleman leads off the bottom half of the 6th inning for New York. Top of the order up there. Coleman 2 out of 2 against Greg Maddux on the night. He is 20 out of 59 against him. So he's had good luck against the Atlanta right-hander throughout his career.
That's about a .340 batting average lifetime.
In the New York papers today, there was speculation that the Mets might eat the last year of Coleman's contract and release him, but he's played well tonight, and the first pitch is fouled away. It's 0-1.
They've been disappointed in his numbers, which he has not brought over the same kind of numbers that he produced with the St. Louis Cardinals. They've been disappointed with his playing time.
Well, let me pose a question to you. Why would he sign with, and why would a team with natural grass be after him in the first place? He's an AstroTurf player. Oh, and 1 the count. And I don't mean that disparagingly, but that's his game, is to beat the ball into the ground and run. Had to skip the rope to get out of the way, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. Pendleton in close at third as his old buddy and teammate with St. Louis, Betts.
He was also practicing his golf swing in the locker room one day and hit Dwight Gooden in the shoulder and cost him a start.
Inside again, 2-1. And then the Mets made that situation worse by trying to stonewall it and not reveal what happened. It only cost Gooden a day. It wasn't like he was. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nice play by Hunter. 1 down. Joe Orsulak, the batter, is 1 for 2. Orsulak, a former Pirate, former Oriole.
I believe he was Chuck Tanner's 5th infielder.
Yeah.
When he first came up with the Pirates, Chuck used to like to, in certain situations, bring in an outfielder to become a 5th infielder, and Orsulak did that once against Atlanta.
And it worked.
Yeah, ball was hit right to him. He was playing right behind second base. Guy hit a ground ball to Orsulak. He fielded it and threw him out. 8-3 if you're scoring.
That's the last time Chuck did anything in Atlanta that worked.
Oh,
just kidding, Chuck. 1 ball, no strikes. High fly ball left field. Gant is over there near the line. He pulls it in. 2 down. That's 10 in a row. Set down by Greg Maddux. And here's Eddie Murray. Murray drove in a run with an infield out in the first. A check swing grounder. Then bounced to second in the third.
Get Greg Maddux some runs like the Braves have gotten him tonight, up 4-1. And this is the way he normally pitches. Has to be a little more precise when he's pitching in a tie game or a 1-run game. Get him some runs, though, and he cruises.
Must have been low. 1 ball, no strikes. Murray through all this has done all right. He's hitting .321. He's driven in 23 runs. He has a 5-game hitting streak, righty. Just missed again. 2-0. Well, they're already on Bonilla, and all he is on deck. Ground ball. Lemke gets another chance. Handles it cleanly, and another easy inning for Greg Maddux. 11 in a row he has knocked over. We have completed 6 at Shea, and the Braves lead it 4-1.
The 7th inning, Coca-Cola Homers for America salutes Ron Gant. Wednesday night in Atlanta, the Braves left fielder belted a home run for the only run of the game as the Braves went on to a 1-0 win. All season, Coca-Cola will donate $500 for each Braves home run to help rebuild Youth League parks as part of the Homers for America program.
Well, let's see if he can do it again. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He looks at a strike. It's 0-1. Gant lined to left, flied to deep center, and then beat out a bunt driving it around. It was his 23rd RBI of the year. 4-1 Atlanta is our score. White Sox all over Oakland. It's 8-1 in the 5th. The Cubs have tied the Marlins there in the 7th. It's 3-3. Montreal has increased its lead to 4-2 over Philadelphia. We'll have the Delta scoreboard for you in the immediate future. Good breaking ball. Got Gant one away. Here's David Justice. Draper records his second strikeout.
This kid has a good curveball from what we've seen of him in these 2 innings he's worked. The only apparent problem he seems to have with it at times is throwing it for strikes.
He now lives in Boonesboro, Maryland. I don't know that one. Justice, it's a fly ball down the left field line, twisting away from Coleman, but look at him run. He's there. He's got it. 2 down. Justice is retired, and Brian Hunter will hit against the curve-balling right-hander. Brian tripled and scored his last time. He's 1 out of 2. He's also walked.
Do you think this has been a long season for Al Harrison? He is 2 booths over to our right. He's the guy that had to fire Jeff Torborg 2 days ago and bring Dallas Green on. And he has a look on his face right now. And it's only May.
You feel for it.
You feel for anybody in that situation. It's always tough to fire a manager, especially a guy as good a guy as Jeff Torborg.
And what you're saying when you do it is you were wrong in the first place. The 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 out here in the top of the 7th. Pete Van Wieren, Skip Carey with you from Shea Stadium. Pop foul back. Into and out of the Mets booth. When I was younger, I watched Ralph Kiner play left field, so I figure that one must have been hit right to him because it rolled out of the booth. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had a good cut at the fastball, fouled it away.
You know, and if you're starting out the season as the general manager or manager of the New York Mets, you look at your roster. You've got 11 players in the roster who have played in all-star games before. You've got some people that were injured last year coming back healthy. And it just looked like it was going to be a good season.
The foul tipped it into a strikeout, trying to stop his swing. 3rd strikeout for Draper, who has looked good here. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Braves continue to lead it 4-1. You may guess that Bobby Bonilla is the batter for New York. Boy, these people are in a frenzy.
It's been going on since early last year.
Ground ball. Pendleton gets a funny hop. Unloads in a hurry. 1 pitch, 1 out. 12 in a row set down by Maddux. I don't care how strong a man you are. You can't listen to this day after day after day and not be affected by it if you have blood in your veins, and he does. Chico Walker is the batter. Maddux just rolling along here. The bunt is right back to the mound. That's a little thank you from Maddux. 2 down. 2 pitches, 2 out. That's just what a pitcher's looking for when you get to the later stages of the game. Tony Fernandez is the batter. .13 in a row knocked over by Greg Maddux.
And against those 13 hitters, Maddux has failed to throw a strike only 12 times.
That's what you were talking about before. This is the way he loves to pitch. He ran up to bunt, but he was taken all the way. They just didn't want a 3-pitch inning. He does bunt on the 3rd base line. They'll let it roll foul. A ball and a strike. Well, the Mets need base runners.
If you've got any experience at all playing here at Shea Stadium, the cut of that grass is so close to the foul line here, much closer than it is in any other ballpark, and it's got a pretty good lip on it. And if that ball is rolling toward the lip, if it curls off that lip, it's going to go foul. There is no way it'll stay fair if it rolls off that lip. Look how close the grass is cut to the foul line.
And not very evenly. Couldn't think of it. Ed Mangan is probably shuddering as he looks at that. The 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. I wonder if he makes house calls to you to help you with your lawn. He could make $1 million in a life. Grounded, foul pass first. Mangan is the Braves groundskeeper who has turned what was a laughingstock of a field into one of the best in baseball.
Best in baseball, I think.
And done it despite marching bands, football games, all sorts of stuff. The 2-2 let up. Look out, folks. Into the seats. Yes, sir. You're on TV. You're making a fool of yourself. Now sit down. Thank you. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Upstairs, it's 3-2. Boy, these have been good graphics tonight, huh?
I haven't seen graphics like this in a long time.
He got him with a change, and the inning is over. Maddux continues to dazzle the Mets. That is his 4th strikeout at the end of 7. 4-1 Atlanta. Tie game in Florida. Ken Hill for Montreal has the lead. St. Louis, Joe McGrain appears headed for victory. The other action later on. We go to the 8th inning with a play-by-play story. Here's Pete Van Weir.
Okay, thank you, Skip. Damon Berryhill, first pitch swinging, ground ball short. Fernandez on to first. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 8th.
And in the American League, Cleveland got 4 in the first, and they're making that stand up. Mike Bilecki is going to get himself a win. Toronto had a 5-run 6th inning. Roberto Alomar had a home run. A 6-run 3rd for Milwaukee. Kevin Reimer a home run. John Dobson has the Red Sox on top. Alex Fernandez likewise for the White Sox. California winning early. No score in Kansas City.
Mark Lemke 2 out of 3 tonight. His average for the year back up to .290. Ball 1 the count on Mark. 4 runs, 8 hits for Atlanta. 1 run, 4 hits for the Mets. Each team has made 1 error. High and deep to center field. Orsulak going all the way back to the edge of the warning track and makes a nice catch out there. He was not playing that deep on Lemke and had a long run for that ball. 2 down.
Boy, that was shades of Willie Mays. Just turn with the crack of the bat and run for about 50 yards and then turn around. Look at this. That's a fine play. He makes it look easy, but that's a tough play.
And now Greg Maddux, who has walked, flied out, and struck out. Draper is now retired 6 straight. Into right field, base hit for Greg Maddux. And a sarcastic cheer goes up from this New York crowd after Bobby Bonilla fields the ball cleanly and right. They are on him from the start of the game to the finish. That's only the 2nd hit allowed by Draper. Hit number 9 tonight for Atlanta. Otis Nixon will step in.
I guess the only good thing for Bonilla about playing here is there aren't any fans out there in right field. You can pretty well get away. You hear it, but they're not up close and personal.
Pitch on the way to Otis. He was squaring, takes a strike. Nixon tonight, 2 hits in 4 trips. Should be 2 for 3. They should have ruled his bunt back in the 3rd a sacrifice, but for some reason they did not.
Strange scoring is all over the place this year.
Up the middle, base hit center field. Nixon's 3rd hit of the night. Maddux will stop at 2nd. And the Braves trying to get something going here in the 8th inning. 2 men out, runners 1st and 2nd for Jeff Blauser. Blauser tonight 1 for 2. He's walked a couple of times, has driven in his 20th run of the year. That's Jeff Innes in the New York Mets bullpen. Ball 1 to Blauser. It makes this season especially tough for New York fans. You can get off to a slow start, but if nobody in your division is off to a red-hot start, you're 8 or 9 games out at this stretch. But the Philadelphia Phillies, the start they're off to, the Mets, and it's only May 21st, already 14.5 games out of first place.
After 38 games.
That's
14
incredible.
and a half out.
Deep to left center field, but that's where Orsulak had him played. And he'll put it away for out number 3. So Draper gets out of it. The 2 base hits don't hurt. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Still 4-1 New York, or Atlanta. Rafael Belliard is checked into the game as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. In at short, replacing Jeff Blauser in the lower third of the order, due up for New York here. What do those two have in common? These New York fans are tough.
R.I.P. for both of them, I guess.
Wow. Jeff Kent 0 for 2. He has struck out and popped the second.
Couldn't be that they're both running a bowling alley in Michigan, could it?
Could be that Greg Swindell leaves tickets for each at every game he goes to on the road.
That's true.
High in the air. Left center field. Gant calls off Nixon. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And the beat goes on for Greg Maddux. 15 straight have been retired by Greg. Now Todd Hundley. The Mets on a steady decline these last 4 years. I think last year was the most surprising year. They had gone out and signed all those high-priced free agents and won only 72 games. Another first pitch swing by Hundley deep to right center field, but Nixon's got it tracked, and they're at 2 down. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter, Wayne Housey, batting for Draper. Housey, a guy that made this ball club in spring training. He was a minor league free agent they had signed out of the Red Sox organization. In spring training, he hit over 400 for the Mets for a large portion of spring training, made some phenomenal defensive plays, and he just had too good a spring to send him down to AAA again. Hitting right at 300 for the year in limited playing time this year. He's only been up 10 times. One of the spring training games that we televised this year, he made one of the finest catches we've ever seen. Out in center field, going back in a ball, diving. Inside corner, 1-1.
Joe Simpson tells me that's the first ejection of Howard Johnson's long major league career.
Coming over is Belliard, and he'll get there. Another 1-2-3 inning for Greg Maddux. He's retired 17 straight. And we go to the 9th inning, 4-1 Atlanta. We go to the 9th inning. It's 4-1 Atlanta. A new pitcher for the New York Mets, right-hander Jeff Innes, replacing Mike Draper. Innes on for the 17th time this year. I think going into the season, the Mets were counting on him to be the right-handed closer, but he has struggled. A record of 0-2, an ERA of 5.12. The Mets bullpen only has 3 saves. John Franco has 1. Mike Maddux has 2. Draper pitched well. He worked 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs. He walked 1, struck out 3. And leading it off in the ninth for Atlanta, Terry Pendleton. Terry tonight 0 for 4. Crowd tonight of 27,692. Many of them heading for home. A ball and no strikes on Terry Pendleton. High in the air to shallow left. Fernandez drifting back. And we have one out in the top half of the ninth inning. That'll bring up Ron Gant. He had that bunt single back in the fifth inning, driving in his 23rd run of the year. Couldn't lay off the high fastball. The count 0-1 on Gant. Tomorrow afternoon's matchup, John Smoltz against Dwight Gooden. That one will be on Sports South. Sunday afternoon, we're back with you on TBS. Steve Avery against Brett Saberhagen. And the Braves head for Cincinnati, an off day Monday. 3-game series begins Tuesday night. Our first look at the Reds this year and those new uniforms. 1-1 the count.
I like the Reds better than I like the uniforms. How about you?
Me too. Here's the 1-1 from Innis. Breaking ball outside. 2-1.
I wonder if Schatzy will be on display at the old ball yard in Cincinnati.
I don't think anymore.
No?
No, I think Schatzy's been told to do her walking elsewhere.
If that's true, you know who the happiest person is? It's that guy in the shiny blue suit that always had the little shovel and broom.
2-2 the count on Gant. The Minnesota Twins pitching staff has given up 11 more runs tonight.
Man.
Toronto 11, Minnesota 2. Twins batting in the top of the ninth. ERA of about 5.5 for the staff. Still 2-2 on Gant. Rays, if they can hold on here, will be hoping for some help from the Cincinnati Reds tonight. The Reds play at Candlestick, trying to cool off those red-hot Giants who have won 6 in a row. Here's the 2-2. He started to go. They asked for help from first base ump Charlie Relaford. He says no swing.
You know, with all that's going on here and all the stuff you read about in the papers, the best bit of news I read, remember Dennis Byrd, that offensive lineman for the Jets? He is now walking with a slight limp. They were afraid he would never, or defensive line, afraid he would never walk again. That's wonderful.
Into left field, base hit for Ron Gant, his second hit of the night. And hit number 11 for Atlanta.
And one other thing I learned today. If you were ever elected president, air commuters in Los Angeles will not have to wait.
Well, they wouldn't have to wait for me anyway. David Justice 0 for 4 rather. He's lined out to short, struck out into a forced play and fly to left. Dennis Byrd made an appearance at Madison Square Garden when the Atlanta Hawks played in New York. It was his first public appearance. He was introduced to the crowd, and every member of both teams came over to wish him well. Down to second goes the throw. Good throw by Hundley. Gant is out. Fernandez took the throw. 2 men down.
It took a great throw to get him here. He had a good jump. He runs extremely well, as you know. And Hundley just flat out made a dandy throw. Good slide, but again, I'm not so sure for what he didn't get in there.
Yeah, that first angle looked like he did get the bag just before the tag was applied. But most umpires, if the ball beats you to the bag, they're going to call you out. It's 1-1 now in Justice. Ron thought he was safe. Here's the 1-1, and that gets by Hundley. 2-1. Due up for the Mets in the bottom half of this inning will be the top of their order. Coleman, Orsulak, and Murray. No one for the Mets has reached since Vince Coleman's one-out single in the bottom of the third. The 2-1 on the way. 2-2. The swing was called that time by plate umpire Paul Runge. Still 2-2 on Justice.
Marlins have taken the lead over the Cubbies. They go to the ninth. 5-3 Florida.
Marlins just 6 games under 500, and they stay in just about every game. They haven't been blown out of there very often, unlike their expansion counterparts, the Colorado Rockies. Inside corner, strike 3 call. Justice not sure about that one. And that'll do it for Atlanta in the 9th inning. First strikeout of the night for Ennis. We go to the bottom half of the 9th. It's still 4-1 Atlanta. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Dallas Green in his managerial debut with the New York Mets, trying to fire up his troops here in the bottom of the 9th, but Greg Maddux has really kept him in check. 17 straight have been retired.
Well, Jeff Torborg's Mets in his last game as manager rallied in the 9th to win a game against the Pirates. Let's hope the same isn't true on Dallas's first day here.
Vince Coleman 2 for 3 off Maddux tonight, a pair of singles. Upstairs, ball 1. One of those rare games for really any major league team where the bullpen has been quiet all night long for Atlanta. You hardly ever get through a game anymore without at least somebody warming up. 1-1 the count now on Vince Coleman.
Only thing that scares you a little bit, we've left 10, they've left 2.
One on the way. A little looper into shallow left field. In comes Gant. And he's got it. 18 straight now. Retired by Maddux. 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. And now Joe Orsulak, who's 1 for 3. That looks like a team in August. 35.5 games out of first place when the dog days arrive. Ball 1 the count on Joe Orsulak. There's a base hit into right center field, ending a string of 18 straight by Maddux. And a good play by Otis Nixon, holding Orsulak to 1. First Met hit since the bottom of the 3rd. Only the 5th hit of the night. And it brings up Eddie Murray, who's 0 for 3.
Good play by Nixon to cut this ball off and keep the runner at first and keep a potential double play in effect.
Now the bullpen does stir for Atlanta. Looks like Mike Stanton getting up, starting to throw. And here's Murray, who's been retired on 3 grounders tonight. 1 to short, or 1 to third rather, and 2 to second. Right-hander Greg McMichael joining Mike Stanton in the Braves bullpen. They're not holding the runner at first. Murray lines one foul down the left side. 0-1. Four runs, 11 hits for the Braves. 1 run, 5 hits for the Mets. Maddux trying for his first complete game as a Brave. That missed inside. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Line drive, base hit, right center field. Orsulak will take the turn at second, head for third. Runners first and third. And still only one man out. And that'll bring up Bobby Bonilla. Leo Mazzoni's going to buy some time for the bullpen here. This has happened to Greg Maddux a couple of times, too, taking leads into a game late and running into some trouble.
Bonilla hit the clutch home run here the other night against the Pirates, and that's what he'll be thinking about in this spot. Chico Walker is next, Pete, instead of Howard Johnson.
Tonight, Bonilla has struck out, popped to third, and grounded out to third. Maddux has only thrown 88 pitches in the game. And now Bobby Bonilla. If he hits into a double play here, you'll be able to hear the booing in Connecticut. Ball one low. (4-1) Atlanta. Bonilla representing the potential tying run. It's 1-1 on Bobby Bonilla. The changeup from Maddux. Orsulak at third, Eddie Murray at first. High in the air, but he got under it. David Justice camping under it out there and right. Tagging at third is Orsulak. Justice makes the catch. Orsulak heading home. The throw by Justice cut off by Hunter. A run is in to make it 4-2. But now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Bonilla's 27th RBI of the year.
He doesn't miss this by much. He gets a pretty good cut at the ball. You can see it was down, and he just got under it a little bit.
So now it's a 2-run lead. 2 outs, a runner at first, and Chico Walker the batter. Walker took over for Howard Johnson when he got thrown out of the game by third base ump Jerry Lane back in the top of the third. 0 for 2 since checking into the game. He's grounded out to third, tried to butt his way on last time up, was thrown out pitcher to first. Takes a strike in the inside corner. 0-1. One strike delivery missed upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Greg Maddux trying to win his 4th game as a Brave. He's 13-9 lifetime against these Mets. Here's the 1-1 on the way. 1-2. The count on Chico Walker. Now let's see if he tries to get him with that changeup. When Greg gets ahead of a left-hand hitter with 2 strikes, he almost always goes after him with a changeup, either working it on the inside or the outside corner. And he just showed him the fastball on the last pitch. 1-2 on the way. 2-2. 2 men out, a runner at first. 4-2 Atlanta. Bottom of the ninth. The 2-2 to Chico Walker. He tried, but missed low. 3-2. They're not holding the runner at first, Eddie Murray, so he's going to get a huge jump here on this 3-2 pitch with 2 men out. Tony Fernandez waiting on deck. There goes Murray. 3-2 pitch is fouled off by Walker. And we'll do it again. Couple of finals. Cleveland has beaten Detroit 10-5. Toronto has beaten Minnesota 11-2. Florida has beaten the Cubs 5-3. It's 3-2 on Walker. Again, Murray takes off. Struck him out, and the Braves win the opener here at Shea Stadium, spoiling the managerial debut of Dallas Green. He did go to that changeup, and the Braves hang on to win it here. Greg Maddux winning his 4th game of the year. Final score, Braves 4, Mets 2. Back with a wrap-up right after this.
Well, a good night's work. Here's your line score. For Atlanta, 4 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. The Braves left 10. For the Mets, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. They left 3. Greg Maddux, his first Atlanta complete game. He's the winner at 4-3 for the year. Eric Hillman is the loser. He's 0-2. Time of the game, 2 hours, 44 minutes, 27,692. Paid to see it. And our Holiday Inn player of the game is Greg Maddux with the complete game. He did it in just 99 pitches, 9 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts.
Tomorrow afternoon, game 2 in this series. You in the Southeast will see it on Sports South beginning at 1 Eastern time. And then Sunday, we'll be back with the finale of this series here on TBS. 1:35 airtime. The Braves and the Mets. That'll be Steve Avery against Brett Saberhagen. Brett Saberhagen. Later tonight on TBS, Brady Bunch Marathon Madness on Nightflix. Final score, once again, 4-2. The Braves beat the New York Mets in the opener of this road trip. For Skip Carey, Don Sutton, Joe Simpson, our entire TBS crew, and our studio help in Atlanta. This is Pete Van Wieren from Shea Stadium. Good night, everyone.